One of the things that make this community strong is our history. We have such a strong history. In the 1880s, we were moved and we came here from the Biltmore Estate. And there are families here that their families came over here at that time. So we have ancestors, and they had businesses, they had trades. There are people that helped do the golf course at the Biltmore Estate that were families here. They built buildings. We had a lot of people that did a lot of things, and that made us strong. And we passed it on to our children.
I moved to this community in 1968, 4 days after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I had the privilege and fortune to be with my brothers and sisters move here. And this is the community of my father's and his father's generation.
Even though many parts of the Shiloh community are older in terms of age, the homes were built for decades ago. The pride in the community members and the homeowners is evident in the maintenance of those homes, the yards, and just the appearance of the community is sort of I think a reflection of the homeowners and the people who live there. So the physical aspects of the neighborhoods and the communities are a reflection of the people who live there.
I went to school at Shiloh School, where I'm standing now. This used to be the elementary school. And I have fond memories of being here with the teachers, Mrs. Daniels, Mrs. Laster, and many, many others.
It takes a community to preserve a community. And I believe that the Shiloh Community Association is standing strong to make sure that the history, the families are preserved in this community, and that's a great takeaway.
Hey everybody, I'm Kristen Weaver and I just want to welcome you aboard. This is going to be a lot of fun. We have Jonathan as our one of our tour guides. Norma is going to be talking a little bit about the history of Shiloh, and then we have Julie to talk a little bit about some of the environmental things in Shiloh, and this will really prepare us for our trip to Washington, D.C.
The opportunity to have a tour of the Shiloh's community and learn about its history and see it up front and in person, the community really was revealing and a great way to learn about this unique part of Asheville and this region.
To begin with the glows of the community tour, just the ability to be able to be surrounded by community members that have grown here for generations. This is their home, and you get insight into the community in a new way when you're touring and hearing the stories of my grandfather built this home or my father built this home. I think looking at the community in that same light, there is this incredible history, this incredible rich foundation on which this community is built that is really unified.
I did notice a few things. So there are some streams that run through Shiloh, and where there is water, there's always the opportunity for pollution. So it would be a good thing to perhaps test the water in those streams and see what we find. Is it safe for kids to play in the creek? We can find that out. I also saw some I think they were old oil tanks that maybe people either used to use or maybe even still are using for heating, that are above ground. With the age of these homes, there are probably also some underground oil tanks. Those can leak, that oil can get into the soil, so that can present a contamination problem.
I thought it was really interesting to see the challenges, which I would refer to as an opportunity now that we've had this day today, with the bus line and where they're running in Shiloh right now. And I think we also have some opportunity to advocate for some needs that Shiloh has around the bus as well.
You can definitely see how community decisions have impacted this community. You can see where the sidewalks have ended. You can see that there's not a bus route in which many of our seniors, cannot access because that was taken or removed or not granted. You can see that there is a lot of inequity.
One of the stories that was told that when the Shiloh community was displaced from the Biltmore community, that not only did they displace the people, they displaced the dead. They brought the graves from where they were to another location. And that's kind of disturbing. But what's really encouraging is that the history is still there. That there are people that are holding up the light, people that are making sure that the stories are told, and making sure that the community is preserved. And I think that's the biggest thing that we could do as a community, is to preserve our community.
I was amazed to see the history, how rich Shiloh is in the history. I knew a little bit, but going on this tour and hearing Miss Norma speak was amazing, just to hear. This community has just so many strong families. They are interested in making sure that Shiloh stays the way that it is, and that we continue improving on what we have, what the existing assets are.
We are a strong community, and we have a lot of children in our community, and that's our strength. So we need to teach them and embrace them. We need to leave our legacy with our children so that they will know the importance of being in the Shiloh community.
From the ancient maps we find our history, a beautiful land of stolen promises upon which a community's hopes resided. Yet we are now standing in this small community poised to create a new history, prepared to tell a new story, willing to know this place as our home. To live into the future we most desire, we must be present to who we are today, honest about our history, willing to see our gifts as assets that shape tomorrow. To take the first steps, we must know love. Love for the possibilities of what we might become, and love for the possibilities of who we might already be. When the phoenix rises, it does not lament its ashes, it only revels in its ability to fly. Time to fly, Shiloh. Time to fly.